Greetings. It's Monday, January the 6th. I'm Thomas Caldwell of the Aurelian Column, and this is the Monday Morning Report. Today's report's going to be a little bit short because right now we are in the midst of a winter storm that has been ravaging the country. It's now hitting the region around Washington, D.C., which is where I reside. And I want to get this out as soon as possible because power outages are not unknown in this part of the country, America's decaying infrastructure being what it is. So let's get to it. Today is January 6th, both an anniversary and a day of importance. First off, the current affair is that this is the day that the U.S. Congress certifies the 2024 election and formally declares Donald Trump the 47th President of the United States. It is not going to be like it was 4 years ago. Well, first off, there's plenty of snow coming down right now, and nobody's going to go out in it who's smart. At the same time, the entire city is on a lockdown of sorts. The area around the Capitol looks like an armed camp. It's no longer the place where average people can congregate and enjoy the area. It reminds me of that movie back in the 1980s, Escape from New York, about some horrifying future in the United States when, well, everything is tyrannically being operated. You remember the movie. It's good to go back and see it. Compare it to today. Might find it insightful. What's going to be quite delicious, if today goes ahead, and I'll go into that in a second, Kamala Harris is going to be formally declaring Donald Trump the next president. That means she's going to have to lurk out of hiding. No one knows where she's been. It's rather interesting. And nobody knows where she's going to be going. I think that the commentary that she's going to run for the presidency in 4 years are extremely laughable. I think we've seen the last of her, at least I hope so. But you never know in this world, especially how upside down it's gotten. Now, today might not go ahead, and here's why. Many members of Congress, in spite of the urging that they remain in the Capitol area so that they could take nice, warmly heated limousines through the streets of D.C. to their jobs, well, a lot of them decided to fly home. A few days ago, spend the weekend at home before they have to get back to work. Wow. And I bet you they're not going to be able to make it. That means if there's not a quorum, which is the majority of the majority, for those of you who don't know the term, well, I wonder what's going to happen. They have to postpone it? They have to stop? Back in 2022, they passed a law clarifying that much of what is going on is mere ceremony. The vice president no longer certifies or has the power to stop certification. They just basically act as a figurehead. More figureheads in a democracy. It never goes very well that way. But we'll see what happens at the end of the day. My guess is that I give it 50-50 that they're going to postpone it. But we will see. Now, for the anniversary, everybody knows the stories, the legends, the myths, and the lies about January 6th of 4 years ago. The big question is going to be, well, will Trump pardon everybody who is sitting and rotting in jail or under threat of such? Well, there are a lot of that would take about an hour to go into. I recommend going to the website AmericanGulag.org. American Gulag. And if you don't know how to spell Gulag, I recommend getting to a dictionary and seeing what it means. AmericanGulag.org is a site that's supposed to keep up on all of the cases that are pending and have happened, all the people that are rotting in jail that have never seen a courtroom, and, the usual sort of thing. What a time. The real test for Donald Trump, if he's serious, and if he is really for the people, will be to see what he does with these rather unfortunate people who just came out because they were angry that the election was stolen from him. We'll see how loyal he is to his followers after he becomes president in a couple of weeks. Now on to other things. New Year's Day saw two what are being described as terrorist attacks. One was in New Orleans, where a very disturbed man who had been incited by the terrorist organization ISIS, at least we're being told that, plowed his truck into a crowd, killed 15 people, injured many more. There are reports that there were other people planting bombs in the area. The story is still very convoluted, which is the way things go these days when something bad goes down. And, of course, on the same day, there was a truck bombing, one of those horribly ugly trucks that Tesla comes up with blew up outside of the Trump Hotel in Vegas. It happened in conjunction with the driver, a very disturbed member of our armed forces, shooting himself and then setting off a cornucopia of explosives in the trunk. It didn't really do any damage. In fact, it didn't even break the glass, just made a big mess. He also has a history of serious mental disturbance, and he's active duty military, so heaven knows how many very messed up people we have in our armed forces right now who are just as ready to go off as he was. Both incidents don't seem to be related. I know people are saying they served at the same military base, along with tens of thousands of other soldiers. That's not really a strong connection. But both individuals seem to have been desperate and driven to the edge by things in this society going against them. If you want to get rid of yourself and you want a cause, well, you can find one. But it's basically just an excuse to get rid of yourself while you have suffered horribly at what you perceive as injustice, which more often than not is probably the case. The reality is that things do not go well in this country and in this society, and we can again talk about that for a long time. Maybe we will at some point. But the American system is far from broken. It's more likely been shattered. Justice is something that is very hard to find. We don't have a justice system in the United States, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. We have a legal system. Vastly different. Vastly different. Both incidents are under investigation. And, well, until we know all the details, it's best not to just guess. There's better things to do with our lives. Okay, now, one thing I want to ask is whatever happened to all the drones? Remember those things everyone was so panicky about a couple weeks ago? Drones here, drones there, drones everywhere? Was that just a publicity stunt to buy people toy drones at department stores ahead of Christmas? They're no longer talked about anywhere. That just shows how manipulated everybody really is. When they tell you to panic about something, you panic. When they don't talk about something, you don't think about it. They don't call it programming in the media for nothing. Okay, what else do we have here? Oh, yes. That was interesting to see the other day. George Soros and Hillary Clinton were awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom by Joe Biden. Wow. I mean, George Soros, Hillary Clinton, both champions of freedom. So much so that they're given one of the highest awards for civilians in the United States. Let that just hang in the air if you're at all cognizant. That award has now been sullied. George Soros and Hillary Clinton are recipients of the Presidential Medal of Freedom. That's just another example of everything in our society that was made sacred by previous generations who fought and died and many more who suffered to keep our country together, all being tossed away. Okay, by the way, a lot more money is going to help Israel buy more weapons in Ukraine, well, launder somewhere in an offshore bank account. I won't bother with the numbers because they don't really mean anything anymore, and Americans don't seem to really care anymore. All this is borrowed money, by the way. The U.S. national debt is, $38 trillion now? You can't pay that back. It's mathematically impossible. Nobody wants to talk about that either, but, Well, I'm going to wind this up early, but I want to talk about the year ahead, and there's many things to look to. What the Trump presidency is going to bring. He has his game to play, but there's another player on the stage now that I think warrants severe scrutiny, and that is Elon Musk. Mr. Musk has been a joyful, fun guy doing cool things with automobiles and spaceships and wanting to go to Mars for some reason, which is about as appealing as the Death Valley, except without oxygen. And he now has a serious taste of real power. I mean, power to change the planet. And he's meddling in a lot of things right now, and that is not necessarily something you want to see. He's made a lot of money. And for some reason in this world, if you make a lot of money, you obviously should be one of the people running the show, and I don't think that makes any sense whatsoever. Now, this man has tasted power, and power is the most addictive substance known to man. A heroin addict has far more ability to break his monkey on the back than someone who has real power. And Mr. Musk, whose fortune could eventually reach more than $1 trillion, his personal assets, that is enormous power. He makes the abilities of George Soros look infinitesimal compared to what he can do. So his activities over the coming months and year is going to be very interesting to watch. Could it be that he's going to use his newfound power and influence to make the world a better place? It is possible. But there's an old saying, and I'm going to leave you with this today: never let your ambition grow larger than your heart. The year 2024 is thankfully in the rearview mirror, and now it is the realm of historians to deal with. The year 2025 is ahead, and whether it turns out to be a year of sunshine or a year of abysmal darkness remains to be seen, but much of that is going to depend on us. That's it for today. If you appreciate my work, please like, subscribe, and share. Please, please, please consider a paid subscription. There's also a fundraiser going on for new equipment, which I do need, and would appreciate your help if you have benefited from my work over the last several years. I can be reached at feedback@aureliancolumn.com. That's feedback@aureliancolumn.com. I'm up on X. My handle there is MICCAMPEN. That's MICCAMPEN. I'm up on various social media platforms: Telegram, Minds, Gab, MeWe, quite a few of them actually. Oh, and these podcasts are available on YouTube if you want to use that for your friends. I am not on Facebook, not this year, and never in the future. So, until we meet again, be good, be safe, be vigilant, and remember, Clown World and the Deep State must be destroyed. Good day.